All right, let's try this again.
Let's try it again.
Gee,
Take 4.
if anybody ever told you that doing a podcast is easy, they're lying to you.
Been doing it for 5 years. I can verify it's not easy.
Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, so we're try to repeat this all over again.
Take 4.
Yeah, right. So here we are, upstairs, second floor. If we sound exhausted from doing this, because it's like the third time and we've had something go wrong with everyone we've done. But M-Balm, Randy, new podcast, studio, doing a little something for you all to see.
First time in person.
Yeah. And we've said this 3 times, so it seems rhetorical, redundant, whatever for us. But I was saying, and I wanted to put it out there. As we start this thing off, he and I don't know each other.
Not at all.
We're a week into our relationship of being friends. When I rolled this thing out, and said that I was going to start this studio, and I kind of was going to be looking for a co-host, and I wanted to do this network thing or whatever. He responded, and we just started off with emails and then some phone calls, and I mean, he's just been a gift because he knows so much about podcasting. He's been doing it for years. Again, you can.
Yeah. So if you don't know already, the M-Balm Effect is our podcast on my side. You can go to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell, get all the notifications for when we go live and get all the new content uploaded. Or you can just go to the mbalmeffect.com, and all that stuff is right there in your hands. We're also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff.
But you've been such an asset, man. I mean, he's got all the knowledge and all the tools to do this stuff and come up with backgrounds. And we've done, one already that was the side-by-side, and it's far better than what a Zoom is. And you can zoom in on one guy when he's talking and all that stuff. So we're good with that. Mm-hmm. But again, it's hard for us to keep saying, or for me to keep saying the same thing we just said for the last half hour up here. But, the goal here is again, we need you guys to subscribe to the channel. Because the more that you subscribe, the bigger, the more our numbers go up, the more that, we're going to be able to get people to take this podcast seriously, and we can, really, reel in some bigger names and, all that good stuff.
And the only way you can do that is because of you. And if you go on subscribe and hit the bell and share and like and all that other good stuff, and it's all free, mind you. It's all scot-free. Yep. That helps us grow. It helps us get in the big names, all the nationals, all the stuff that you want to see, all the interviews you want to see here in the ROC at the Montage Studios. Can make it happen because of you.
And I mean, this is one thing that I didn't say on the other 14 recordings that we did that we were going to scrap. There's a lot of y'all out there that, aren't maybe integrated with YouTube and don't watch it as much as you and I do. I mean, it's like I told you when we were first starting to chat together, it's 90% of what I watch. I mean, there's nothing on network television that I like. I mean, the Netflix movies and the series, they come and they go, and you watch those and you get burnt out.
Yeah.
And I just go on YouTube because I do like to watch podcasts. I do like to get information on health and what to eat, what not to eat, and just all that good stuff. And it's just, it's growing leaps and bounds. And we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. This isn't going to be totally music. So I guess what I'm getting at is if you subscribe and you do nothing more than do us that favor by doing just that, stop back and maybe check a few of them out. Again, as I was saying the other 14 times, we're not going to get long-winded with these. That's not what I want to do. I mean, he's got his podcast. He brings people in, some local bands and different things, and he gets going for an hour and a half, and that's great. I mean, I don't know that we're not going to get some of these guys that may be coming to the club like John 5 or whatever to be on for an hour and a half with us or whatever. And that's not probably something that I'm really going to do. We'll pop in, we'll shoot the shit if it's just you and me. If we have some guests, we'll probably nail like a half hour or 45 minutes. Sometimes you go longer because there's just interesting conversation, but I'll probably always be the one that will find a point, to where, okay, I think we've exhausted, the topics that we want to touch on, the conversation. And I don't want to overbear you, the people that are trying to watch it, because as I told him when we first got talking, I can find something on YouTube that satisfies my curiosity. But when I click on it and I see that it's an hour and 40-minute podcast, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I've got that investment to make,
Yeah.
So anyways, but his podcast,
it's a long form discussion. I mean, this is something that if you're home on a Saturday night, like when we go live, and you have nothing else going on, you can just hang out with us. You can call into the show, all that stuff. We have it all set up that way. Or if it's something that's not live anymore and we've already done our thing and it's still up there for you to view and listen to, you can go on long distance drives if you want and still listen to the thing.
Right.
So, it's there for you and maybe entertain you, maybe make you laugh, maybe get some knowledge into your head about certain things in life. I don't know, whatever it is, man. That's why we do these things, because not only is you see it as just us talking, but there's a lot that goes into it, and you're already seeing it's a lot more than just talking on a mic.
Well, yeah, and anybody that thinks, and you hear that from other people that do podcasts, that there's a bunch of people I see lately that this one's leaving YouTube, this one's leaving YouTube, and I was like, what is it? Has YouTube done something that they don't like? Are they taking something away? And from what I've heard and what I've watched and listened to why they're leaving, is because it's a lot of freaking work.
It is.
And I think it mentally drains people to have to constantly want to create content.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to do it at that level. We'll hop on here and you'll see something once a week, maybe twice a week. I'll do something myself. We'll come on and do something together. Some of them will be that other format that's like a Zoom call thing to where he's in his cave, I'm in my cave, and we just do something like that. But that was the reason for this. So we did the introductory thing that, this is, I'm not pronouncing some of these words right, Archie Bunker. That we did that, and that was just to say what's going on. And this is kind of to say what this is actually going to be, to where I think some of the local acts and stuff like that, that'll be something that maybe you'll get a little bit more deep in, with what the Montage is doing and some of the national acts that are more of your age and stuff that you're in the local bands that you deal with. I may probably, be more content-wise with other things, and maybe like the John Fives and somebody like that comes across my email to where they've got a PR department and we're able to get an interview with them or something like that. But and then I'm going to be on your podcast here and there, and so that's what this is all going to be. It's going to be just a big
collaboration.
Yeah, of everything. And again, I'm trying to think of what things we just did, and I said in the last one that got scrapped, behind me is a good another 30, 40 feet of space.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to do with the network is, if you are a content creator, you've got a podcast now and you don't have a space, or you're thinking of starting one and you want to create one, I've got what I think will be at least 3 or 4 more spaces this size. If that's something that you're interested in, we did send, there was an email that I did in one of my posts about it. But if you can't find that, just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I can let you know what that's all about. And you can set up your own little space for your own podcast. That's what the umbrella of the network is going to be, and what I want it to be. I mean, above and beyond what he and I are going to do, and all the levels of how we're going to do it, of what we just spoke of, I want other people to get involved in this and become part of this network.
Yeah.
And the second floor up here, I've for years wondered what to do with it. Well, I've kind of finally found something. So again, if you're thinking of starting something like this, get a hold of me. I'll let you come up here and take a look, and I'll give you more details on what it all entails to have a space up here.
Yeah, and even on the physical level, we have a digital space too, and it's right here on the Montage Studio channel, where you can also, if you're a podcaster and all that, just have it. If you want to email him and have your stuff featured on that channel, on our channel here on the Montage level, just shoot him an email.
Yep.
And that way, the M-Balm Effect's going to be having some featured stuff on there as well. So, it's going to be an exciting time, and I think this is a good thing for the ROC. And hell, if you're outside of the area, doesn't matter. You're still part of the family. Let's get this whole thing going. We can grow together, elevate each other up.
I'm smirking. It's just because, what, man, the last one we did was so much better than probably what this one is, as far as the way but anyway, I mean, this is, so this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we need you to subscribe and help us grow. So, we'll keep shoving that down people's throats. I said this in the last one that we just scrapped, but, in the weeks to come, I'm going to think of other ways to get everybody motivated, whether we do some ticket giveaways and, for the person that shares the URL and whatever. So stay tuned for all that stuff.
100%.
And,
today what, January 24th?
Yep.
So this probably will be uploaded sometime tomorrow or something. And I don't know if it will be on time or not, but tomorrow there's the roast going on with the Interloop guys.
Yep, Interloop roast battle.
Shane Allen, Mark Myra here at the Montage Music Hall. It's going to be freaking phenomenal. Don't miss out on that. And on top of that, this weekend, January 27th, we have another show going on. It's Poison the Prophet,
Yep.
Divine Fallacy, Dead XO Laughter, and more. And you know what? At this point in time, tickets are almost just all gone, right? At this point, it's
if you
almost
don't have
sold
a
out.
ticket, I would say by the time you're seeing this, I would get one.
Yeah.
I think the bands are just about out of tickets. There's a few left online.
Yeah.
And that was something that we've mentioned 2 or 3 times in the
2 or 3 times.
We're going to try to get a couple of the bands up here, the guys from Poison the Prophet, and we'll do our first interview up here with some actual other, some people that in bands and whatnot that are performing at the club, because that's part of the content that we want to do up here. So
Absolutely.
hopefully we'll get the guys either before they perform or after they perform from Divine Fallacy or Poison the Prophet or both.
Yeah.
And we'll really kick this thing off. So
It'll almost be like Joe Rogan after a UFC fight, but they're just performing down on the stage.
Yep. So anyways, everybody, man, we'll quit boring you with all this stuff. We just ask you to, again, tune in, subscribe. Hopefully you like it. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no subscription fee or anything like that. If you don't know about YouTube, you just got to follow the URL, go to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and then, if you start to watch our content, share, like, notification bell, all those other good things that if you're a YouTube person, you know what those are already. And so we'll see you on down the road.
That's right.
Keep watching. Thanks.
Next time.